Sir, this is my paragraph one brief. For my task organization, I am the squad leader for 1st Squad, 1st Platoon, Charlie Company 1-5 Infantry. Our task is to attack and destroy Objective Phantom, and our purpose is to deny enemy influence on the battalion defensive operations. I say again, our task is to attack and destroy Objective Phantom, and our purpose is to deny enemy influence on the battalion defensive operations. Our Alpha team is our main effort. Its task is to attack and destroy Objective Phantom, and our purpose is to deny enemy influence on the battalion defensive operations. The key weapon systems are M249 and an M320. We also have an attached gun team from Weapon Squad. They have the same task and purpose, and the key weapons are the 240 Bravo and the AT4. And then we also have our Bravo team, which is our supporting element. They're tasked to provide support by fire for Alpha team and deny enemy influence on the battalion defensive operation. The key weapon systems are the M249 and the M320. So to box you in here, to our north, we have 37 Northing. To the south, it will be 31 Northing. To the east, it'll be 17 Easting, and then to the west, it'll be 10 Easting. To trace you in, we will be staying inside the vicinity of the river. We won't go past there. The mountain range, we will not go above Route Camaro, and we won't go below Objective Phantom. To familiarize you, key terrain 1 will be this bridge right here, and key terrain 2 will be the intersection near Objective Phantom, as that is important for freedom of maneuver along the AO. For CCAA, the enemy has fixed rotary helicopters. They have 1 platoon of Z-10K attack helicopters at Taitung Air Base. The trigger is a USF battalion or higher, which will not bother us because we are only a squad element. For indirect fires, there's a battery of PL-66 152mm howitzers ranging the entirety of AA Ronin. The identification of a U.S. infantry squad plus will trigger them, and it takes about 10 minutes. There's 1 PP-87 down at Objective Phantom. It fires daily from 0300 to 0800 and 1500 to 1900. And its time is 5 minutes from Objective Bobcat. The reserve is 1 motorized platoon to the south, and its trigger is defensive reserve to prevent USF advance, and the time is about 40 minutes to AA Ronin. And then for 88, there's a platoon minus of PGZ 04 Alpha, and subjected to platoon of HQ 16s. Surface terrain, we have we're gonna have very thick vegetation on the terrain, which will canalize friendly forces, but will not have too much effect on the enemy forces. They will be taking the CSK 141 to travel, which is equivalent to the U.S. Striker, but this will have an effect because it will allow friendly movement to get close without being seen. By giving us concealment. For our avenues of approach, friendly forces will need to move quickly along linear danger areas. There should only be about 1, but we need to move quickly so we're not identified by the enemy. And then for the enemy avenue approach, they will most likely be traveling along the roads. For the key terrain, there's the key terrain 1, which is the bridge here, and then there's key terrain 2, which is the intersection next to Objective Phantom down here. This is key to gaining control of the region and disallowing enemy movement, and key to conducting operations within the region. For our weather, on August 30th, for our operations, the visibility would be 15.3%. This will be an advantage for the friendly because we have more nods than the enemy does. For the wind, there's going to be very low wind, so that won't have too much effect. For precipitation, it's going to be about 70%. This will mask USF forces as they close in on Objective Phantom, allowing us to get close without being heard by enemy forces. And cloud cover is about 99%. That won't have too much effect. And the temperature and humidity, it's going to be hot during the day, but we are going to conduct this operation at night. So as long as friendly forces stay hydrated, we should be good. For our enemy composition and strength, we have a enemy motorized company at about 90% strength with a task to disrupt U.S. force within the regions and deny U.S. force from gaining control over the entirety of the region. We have 2 motorized platoons right here towards the middle in our area of operation, as well as to the west. And then we also have a air defense platoon tasked to disrupt enemy USF forces, and to the east to disrupt USF forces. The most common weapon system is a QBZ-95. It's comparable to the M4, and the most dangerous weapon system is the CSK-141, which is equivalent to the US Striker. For our platoon analysis, we'll be facing an enemy motorized infantry platoon at about 90% strength. As you can see, there's 3 motorized squads, 1 tasked with disrupting USF forces within the region, 1 tasked with occupying this region of the map, and then to the south, we have 1 USF motorized squad tasked with controlling this area. And then we have a recon team tasked with screening the area for U.S. forces to disallow movement along the region. We will be coming from the north, so as we come down, we could run into the recon team on the way down to Objective Phantom, where the mortar team will be conducting disruption operations within the region in order to deny USF forces to gain control over the region. And within that, there's about 36 packs. For enemy composition strength, for this squad, they are going to disrupt USF in Ao Ronin, and with the purpose to control the region. Each task of each team is to disrupt and control along Ao Ronin and to control the region. For QUP systems, you have the QJY-88, QLG-10, QBU-88, QJZ-89 mounted on the CSK, and the DZJ-08. Here are the weapon system equivalents to the U.S. weapons, and it's the M249, the M320, the M110, the M2, and the AT4. And then attached, they have 1 PP-87 mortar, which is equivalent to the U.S. M252 with a range of 5,500 meters with the purpose of disrupting U.S. force operations. And then for high payoff target, the high payoff target is going to be that PP-87 mortar. Why? Because they're trying to deny enemy influence over 1 battalion main effort. And if we can take out this mortar, that will give us a better chance of gaining control over the region. So here's our macro. So as you can see, just kind of more zoomed in, you can see the enemy screen here. You can see the 2 teams to the southwest gaining control of this region, and then we have our motorized infantry team down here tasked with disrupting U.S. forces within Ao Ronin. For enemy warfighting functions, for intelligence, there's a lack of awareness of USF composition and disposition, which is a weakness. We have the movement maneuver. They're going to travel by the CSK-151, and most likely the avenues of approach will be roads. This is considered a weakness because they'll be predictable within their avenues of approach, but also an advantage because they'll be able to move quickly to provide support to the mortar platoon down here. For fires, there's 1 PP-87 mortar and a battery of 152 Mike howitzers firing with multiple PAOs. This is a strength. It's about 10-minute reaction time for squad plus. For protection, in vicinity of Objective Phantom, there's low visibility, which will be a weakness for the enemy because this will allow U.S. forces to close in on enemy forces due to thick vegetation. For sustainment, they are currently fresh and equipped, so they will be at full strength when we're attacking. And for command and control, the enemy is spread throughout the AO, which is a weakness because reinforcements will take time when we are trying to attack Objective Phantom. Here's our micro. As you can see, it's in the north. We're just zoomed in more on this mortar team here, and then you have the enemy squad split into 2 teams at the north and south, tasked with occupying this area and reinforcing in case of engagement on the mortar team down here. Purpose of the enemy operation: to gain control of decisive points within Ao Ronin and deny USF control over Torbia. They will accomplish this by conducting an area defense of the area, and decisive to their operation is the disruption of U.S. forces en route to Objective Phantom, which is that screening element above this, right there. And this is decisive because Objective Phantom is key to gaining control over AA Ronin. The purpose of their enablers is to destroy squad-sized elements or above when identified. The key terrain, that's key terrain 1 and key terrain 2, that intersection near Objective Phantom will also be key to gaining control. Their end state is for the enemy to disrupt USF forces, civilian to minimize damage to civilian infrastructure, and friendly to minimize casualties and continue operations. For their main effort, it's going to be this mortar team, and they're tasked with disrupting USF forces within AA Ronin, and then to deny control over AA Ronin. So supporting element 1 is that recon team to the north. Their task is to screen above Objective Phantom and deny enemy en route to Objective Phantom. As the supporting element 2 is this infantry motorized platoon. They are going to control the town near Objective Phantom, and their purpose is to provide reinforcement on Objective Phantom if attacked. And then as we are coming down from the north, we could expect there to be an enemy 249 and an enemy N4 facing the north to defend the mortar, as they would expect that they have some knowledge of us being to the north, and they will probably be in the woods. And then there will be reinforcements. Will take about 15 minutes to get there once we make contact with them. And for here's our concept sketch for our mission statement for our platoon. It's Charlie Company 1-5 Infantry disrupts enemy forces in AA Ronin no later than 2200 August 24 in order to deny enemy defense influence on the battalion main effort. The key task is disrupt enemy operations in depth, deny enemy uncongested use of high-speed avenues of approach, to retain maximal combat power, and avoid decisive engagements. The end state is for the terrain for North Torbian forces in zone disrupted without accurate knowledge of platoon composition. The enemy platoon reconsolidated at the PB, postured for follow-on offensive operations, and civilian primary MSRs in AA Ronin congested, and friendly minimize civilian casualties and collateral damage to infrastructure. Sir, this concludes my